Howdy guys, it's Joe today talking about Mercy and Eeveea, the Mercy player. Now you guys voted for Mercy last time, so if you want to see a certain character, please make sure to vote for them in the comment section down below, and whoever gets the most votes, well, they're going to be the one we see next time. Anyways, straight to Mercy. I feel like right now she is a lot better than what she's previously been. I don't know exactly why. I guess her healing's about the same, everything's about the same, but mainly because Ana's a lot worse now. Mercy can kind of actually shine and actually do pretty well right now. Her healing's really nice, and mainly her ultimate, I feel like, is definitely probably the highest impact ult in the game right now. As far as supports can go, I guess you could argue Zen's is maybe, because it counters so many good ults right now, but I don't know. I'd say it's definitely Mercy's. One thing that we're going to be seeing a lot from this guy is hiding around corners and waiting to use her ultimate. I know it's basic. I know that all of you guys know how to do that, but so little people actually do it. Another thing that I want to talk about that so little people actually do is actually hide around these corners right here. It's such a basic thing, and it's something that you honestly wouldn't think about way too much, but there's no reason to not hide around the corners. It makes it hard for you to get shot, it makes it so that you can hide from the enemies that are trying to flank you, and overall just make you a lot harder to kill. And of course, it makes it so that you can get a lot more easy reses. But for some reason, just a lot of people stand straight behind their DPS, straight behind their tanks, and they get picked off, and then they wonder, why did I die to that Genji? Why did I die to that Tracer? Why do I keep dying? It's obvious. You're just standing right up to them, but just doing it over and over again. Just kind of think about where you're actually positioned, like every single second, and if you're straight in the line of sight, you're probably not in the right place. And even if you are in the line of sight, because, you know, it's a completely open map, try to stand, like, right behind your tank so that your hitbox is blocked by them, so then you won't die in that way either. Or at least try to stand where you can shift away to someone if you're getting hit by Genji, or just off to the side. I just say, you know, of course, pushing the payload, you kind of have to be on the payload, but in other situations, you want to be out of the way so you aren't going to just die over and over again. And yeah, the nice thing we see about this guy is that he is out of the way the most of the time. He's running behind shields, and he actually doesn't die very much at all. Like, there's a very small amount of death going on with this player, so that's something that's nice to see. We also see a main focus on healing. It does sometimes switch off to the damage boost, but overall, since especially we have a Zenyatta right here, healing should be the thing you mainly focus on. Your damage boost, while it is okay, your healing is quite a bit better. And then, since you can't heal way too much, and since you can do a lot of damage, you just kind of have to think about it that way. If you are playing with like a Pharah Mercy, of course you do want a damage boost, so you can make sure to one-shot people like not Pharah. Well, you can one-shot people like Tracer on the ground, because the rocket will do that. But as we have it right now, we don't have really anybody that needs to be damage boosted. Soldier can be, and it helps him pretty well. And of course, if Roadhog gets a hook, you want to always damage boost him, because that'll make so that Roadhog doesn't have to hit every bullet. And if the enemies are being healed, or get a shield or something, or, you know, some reason don't die in one hit, you can make so that they will actually die in one hit with the damage boost. Something that you just kind of want to remember. As well with that, when Reinhardt's using his right click, or not his right click, when he's using his charge, you want to make sure to also damage boost. Right here we see only one person die actually so far. We're trying to wait to see if we can get a nice ultimate off. Nobody's dying though, which is one of those things kind of awkward. But since nobody's dying, we see, let's just go for an ultimate. Let's just make so our numbers are back up. We already have a kill. We already got that Diva mech out, so we can do decently fine. Diva walked off to the corner. Nice idea by her. And we just continue to go back. One thing that we see a lot from Eeveea is actually going and using solo reses, or maybe even duo reses. He doesn't always wait for these 5 or 6 man reses, and there's a good reason for that. Mainly because if you wait for all those huge man reses, a lot of the times your team will be really badly positioned, and the enemy team can just immediately re-engage and jump on you again for a second time. And as well, sometimes just the enemy team will have enough time, since you've been waiting so long to res everybody, that they can get their Tracer back, that they can get their Winston back, and it can really make the fight quite a bit harder. And if you're just going in for a quick push and one person dies and you're waiting for our whole team to die, it can make so you waste all your ultimates, you don't use them in the right order. It can really hurt you quite a bit. But we see right here, it does it really, really well and doesn't get hit by any of that stuff. So, very smart guy right there. Continuing, of course, just trying to get as much healing as possible. Right now, I guess he could be damage boosting. There's no reason to really not be damage boosting, because nobody's taking way too much damage, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. And we see right here, walking way around the back line. Mainly for the fact that now we can get a nice res, and, well, again, another solo res just to help you win the fight. If somebody like one of your important tanks gets taken out, of course, it could be worth it to solo res. If, like, you pretty much counteract someone like a Tracer's res, not a Tracer's res, a Tracer's ultimate with your res, and even just a 1-for-1 is really useful, especially because Mercy has one of the fastest charging ultimates in the game, and one of the easiest to charge ultimates in the game, because you don't even really have to do way too much, you just have to get hit, or have your teammates get hit. So yeah, it's pretty nice. But yeah, definitely, you could just go for those. I don't know why, but people really seem to think that you have to get these nice play the game reses, and that was nerfed anyways. You're probably not going to get a play game anyways unless you get like a 6-man res now, so just go for the ones that you feel like can help you win the team fight. Of course, if your teammates have no ultimates, and you're not even really pushing, you just happen to get picked off, that's probably not a great idea to go for it. Just getting randomly picked is never a good idea to go for a res, but if you happen to know that you're going in and maybe somebody dies early on, of course, there you go. I'll get it off right there. We see a nice tracer, and I think we're going in. There we go again for another solo res. Pretty much only seeing solo reses here, but it's also working pretty well. Unfortunately, his team gets taken out right there. I guess he could have used his res for that, but he's trying to get his soldier to do as much damage as possible, trying to heal as many people as possible, and his ult's already at 35%. As you see, reses with Mercy, you kind of just have to see what you can take. Sometimes your team will just die after you res people, and you know, you just have to back off. It doesn't matter way too much. Just continue playing, and it is frustrating, but whatever. Can't really do much about that. Now, what we also see right here a lot from this guy is jumping from one person to another person to another person, and making sure that he's not staying next to one person at a time, as that's usually not a great idea. That's where the majority of people seem to die to people like Tracer and Genji. If you're always at the same place at all times, of course you're going to die because they know where you're at all times. And of course, just the beam also makes it pretty easy to find you. So if you see like a Genji or Tracer looking for you, you can also just wait a second, not heal, and then go for the heal in just a second. Now, a final thing I want to talk about with this res is as well, of course, it gives you that invincibility. And if you can get a solo res to give yourself invincibility, and to as well give your teammate invincibility to get out of a precarious situation, as you see right here, well, you can just save yourself from death. Right there we could have seen a solo res. It would have blocked out that Reinhardt ult against her, and of course it would have been able to also make so that a Reinhardt can get up and get out, and it would have essentially saved 2 people for the price of 1. Saving yourself is a very important thing to think about when you're using your res ability. It's not always about just your teammates, but if you can get a teammate and yourself saved, you know, there you go. That's essentially like a 2-man res because you're not dying if you're in a really bad situation. Just before somebody flashbangs you, for example, could even be a good situation because you know you're probably going to die. And even if someone's like just 1 inch away from you, like a Tracer or a Reaper, if you can get that solo res and save yourself, there you go. Overall, I just want to say how important that can be and how many different situations you can do that. Now, another thing I also want to mention is that, of course, he's trying to get high ground, trying to boost everyone that he can, but that he's also trying to not stay very close to his teammates. I feel like this is a big mistake a lot of people do. They just kind of like stay 1 inch away from their teammates as Mercy. And I guess it kind of makes sense in your head. Especially I see this with a lot of Mercy mains, you know, with Mercy only players. They're like 1 inch away from their teammates. They're thinking that they can probably heal them more often and probably outplay people more often. But honestly, it's a lot safer to just stay further back, do what this person's doing, and just kind of like snipe heal, I guess is what you could say. Safely heal from far away. Because sometimes you won't be able to get as many clutch heals, but if you're alive, you're going to be able to heal more people, damage boost more people, and even though you might not get quite as much healing, I'd say it's pretty much always worth it to just play the game a little bit more safe. And yeah, a lot of people, I don't know, when they get really good at Mercy, they get to the certain stage where they think that they're like invincible as this character, and then they die over and over and over again, and essentially just throws the character. Try to not do that. Maybe that's just my experiences and my time playing with Mercies and as Mercy and other stuff like that, but I don't know. That's at least what I've experienced right here. Right now we also see we can get an ult. There we go. Got a solo res, I think, on that Reinhardt. Of course, you can try to charge your ult as much as possible. Get that guy back, try to save him. Reinhardt is a great person to try to solo res, especially if he has his ultimate. But even if he doesn't, just being able to get back that shield. And as well, Winston. I feel like those are some of the most important people to solo res. You know, if you have people with their ultimates that are very strong, like Zen with his ult up, and the enemy team has a Genji, that can also be really nice. But yeah, that's essentially just a video saying solo reses can do stuff, and just be safe with yourself. Back here, of course, he could walk a little bit further away behind the wall, so he didn't have any chance of dying, but he sees that there's nobody with any long-range hit scan on their team, so he doesn't have to be way too afraid. He can kind of just fly between these guys, deal as much healing as possible, damage boost the soldier as often as possible, and yeah, we see he's just balling all over the place. As well, a setting that I would recommend to do is to turn off the toggle beam. So you actually have to hold down the beam and then turn off the toggle fly, I think it is, so that you can look at your teammates and turn on the toggle that makes so that you fly to the person that you're healing or that you're damage boosting. So if you have all those 3 settings like that, it essentially makes so that you can turn off your toggle for a second, fly to someone, and then you can also still have the benefit where if you have your toggle on, you can fly to them around walls. So essentially you can have the benefit of flying around walls while also having the benefit of being able to target multiple people very quickly. It's kind of confusing, I guess, if you don't play Mercy that much, but if you do play Mercy, hopefully that explained it a little bit as far as those toggles go. That's really the best way I can explain it, though. It's kind of weird. Finally finishing it off, though, they got a pretty nice push right there. We have a nice ultimate ready, though, and we could either just stay far back and wait to res, but since we're doing really, really well right now and they don't have way too much time left, we can play a little bit more risky. Try to damage boost people more, try to get more health out more, and try to stall out for a second more. Especially on offense, I'd say, use more of those reses and use them more just all the time. Not all the time, but, you know, don't be way too afraid to use them. But while if you're playing on defense, you have to be a little bit more afraid. Use them to save yourself a little bit more. Use them to like get 2 to 3 man raises a little bit more. But especially on offense, you don't have to worry about that way too much because you're going to be taking so much damage that you can easily charge up your ult really quickly again. Right there we see a Zenol. Of course, Anna could try to E that if she could. And we're just waiting behind the wall right here. Really smart idea. People are going to die. Our team's going to be in trouble. But we can just wait, have them all die together, and get a solo, duo, whatever man res. There we go, got a 2-man res running right between people. Hoping that somebody else would die, it seemed, but unfortunately, nobody else died. But whatever, it's still doing fine. We're finishing it off, though, just finally pushing it off. Got a nice res, essentially just wins their team the game. And yeah, that's about it. Mercy doesn't seem like way too difficult in my opinion. I've been playing her for quite a bit. She's probably my best support. I really like Zen a lot, but Mercy's probably my best one. And yeah, you can play pretty safely without way too much risk and essentially get a good high amount of reward without even having to do way too much. Just making sure that you aren't dying and making sure that your teammates aren't dying as much as possible. Yeah, you want to play it safely, I'd say. And even if you are a pro Mercy, as we see right here, you still want to play it pretty safely. It's a pretty safe thing to do. Finally, we're just damage boosting, of course. If you see someone like your Mercy, not your Mercy, your Pharah or your Soldier, of course, ulting, you want to damage boost them. Finally got another really nice res. Nobody's really targeting this Mercy way too well, but it's probably also because the Mercy's jumping around the map. That's one thing you want to remember. It's very hard for Tracer to get to Mercy if she's going up and down and up and down. And as well, you want to tell your Soldier and people like that to stay at high ground so that you can actually fly to them and make it so people like Tracer can't really kill you. But at least that's all I'm really going to tell you about this VOD. I feel like overall did pretty well. Didn't really die way too much. I think I only died maybe like 1 or 2 times. And got a lot of nice reses and really showed the power of just how good res can be, even if it's not like a full team res. Anyways, with that all said, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, as always, leave a like. Comment down below who you want to see for the next video. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.